He conquered nearly all of Europe, crowned himself emperor, and changed the fate of nations. But one battle would destroy it all. Born in 1769 on the Mediterranean island of Corsica, Napoleon Bonaparte grew up with the fire of ambition burning inside him. The island had just fallen under French control, and young Napoleon learned to navigate a world of loyalty, pride, and survival. Small, quiet, and often mocked, he spent his youth in French military schools, studying artillery, history, and the art of war. While other boys played, Napoleon read, planned, and dreamed of glory. In 1789, France erupted in revolution. The monarchy was overthrown, streets ran with the fire of change, and armies shifted their loyalties overnight. For Napoleon, this chaos was opportunity. By 1793, Napoleon, barely in his 20s, led artillery at the siege of Toulon. His innovative tactics stunned generals and earned him recognition. The unknown Corsican officer was becoming a rising star. In 1796, Napoleon commanded the French army in Italy. Against larger Austrian forces, he struck with speed and cunning, winning victory after victory, leaving the world to wonder. Who is this extraordinary general? Back home, newspapers hailed him as a hero. Soldiers adored him, politicians feared him, and the nation watched as a small Corsican transformed into the symbol of French power. In 1799, Napoleon returned to Paris and staged a coup. The old government collapsed. He crowned himself first consul, and soon after Emperor of France, claiming an empire built on ambition, vision, and military might. Europe's monarchs could not ignore Napoleon's rise. Alliances formed, armies mobilized, and the continent braced for conflict. France faced enemies on all sides, yet Napoleon moved with unmatched strategy. In 1805, Napoleon faced the combined armies of Austria and Russia at Austerlitz. Outnumbered, he used cunning feints and terrain to trap the enemy. By nightfall, he had crushed them, cementing his reputation as a military genius. After Austerlitz, Napoleon controlled most of Europe. Kings were toppled, borders redrawn, and French influence reached from Spain to Poland. But power breeds resistance. In Spain, Napoleon placed his brother on the throne. The Spanish people refused to bow. Guerrilla warfare erupted, draining French resources and igniting a chain reaction of rebellion across occupied territories. In 1812, Napoleon marched into Russia with over 600,000 soldiers. Cities burned before him, supplies vanished, and winter arrived early. The great army, once unstoppable, crumbled under starvation, frost, and relentless Russian tactics. Seizing the moment, Austria, Prussia, Russia, and Britain united. Armies across the continent marched on France. Napoleon's empire faced its deadliest challenge yet. Napoleon escaped exile on Elba in 1815 and reclaimed power, but Europe would not let him rise again. At Waterloo, British and Prussian forces crushed his army. The emperor's reign, once unchallenged, was over. Exiled to St. Helena in the Atlantic, Napoleon spent his final years reflecting on a life of glory, conquest, and ultimate defeat. His legacy endures, a story of ambition, brilliance, and the rise and fall of one of history's greatest leaders.